Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Our posturings, our self imagined self importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in this universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark than this distant image of a tiny world. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of a tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Carl Sagan.
Hi, Dr. Narayan.
Hi, Rashmi.
So it must be the most cliched thing to introduce someone by saying they need no introduction. But sort of true for Dr. Narayan. For my friends who are not dentists, not from my fraternity, who've been very sweetly watching this, Dr. Narayan is the finest implantologist that we have today within us. An avid photographer, an amazing cook that I've been discovering every day now by his posts. Very passionate about astronomy, bikes, music, books. My guest tells me quantum physics, and I'm still discovering more. Your posts, your pictures of the night sky would take me to this nostalgia trip of my stargazing nights. Very few in Mumbai because we have to travel outside Mumbai to see the sky. But the last one, I think I was telling you about it, in Andamans. So one evening, we went into the kayak somewhere deep in the waters, just stargazing, looking at the bioluminescence underneath, and it was magical.
So, so I'll tell you how this whole. I mean, okay, I was a little. I'm very interested in sky gazing. Let's call it that, right? I like the patterns in the sky, the way things change. I'm a pathologist by training, so patterns happen. You know, they're like a part of the whole scheme of things for me because you look for patterns in everything, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so back in school, we heard about a few constellations. Then when I was in college and stuff, I figured that if I looked up at the sky and walked around, people were very curious as to what you were looking at. So
Yeah.
good way to get some girls to get your attention as well. So then that would happen. Then you start pointing stuff out. And then I figured at one point, and I think that has held me in good stead for most of my life, that I convince a lot of people by confusing them a lot, right? So I still do that, I think. That's how pathology works. That's how a lot of astronomy works.
Okay, so is that what we're going to do today? Okay, yeah. So,
Over a period of time, you confuse yourself so much that you're convinced yourself. Then it's all right. It is when you look up at the sky, you see that the numbers are out there, and if you if you understand the numbers that this is 8,000 light years away, this is so and so far, so much time away, so such a distance away, and so on. uh, you just figure that you really don't figure in the scheme of things, right? You're just by the way. In fact, where we are sitting, maybe just about 50 kilometers to the north from here, is Nandi Hills. Have you heard of Nandi Hills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Nandi Hills is like part of this this Dharwad Craton. And this is the oldest of. I mean, it's amongst the oldest land masses in the world on Earth, and
Wow.
that is about 4.4.5 billion years old, right? This piece of land over here.
Okay.
I mean, just imagine all the things that it has seen, man. I mean, like you're really nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. But
And so from here, say from here to towards the north, you know, go up to the Himalayas. It's like a 2 billion year journey because uh, those Himalayas are 2 billion years younger than this. Yeah. So it's just really mind-boggling the numbers then. Like I said, I'm a sky gazer. For me, looking up at the things, so I like to look at cloud patterns. I love watching sunrises and sunsets. Yeah, I spent a lot of time gazing at the sky in Bombay. Yeah? I did my master's in Bombay. I was in Nair. And my wife was my girlfriend then. So I used to end up going to her place, which was in Mahim. And just on the thing, so there's a katta there, and every day would be looking into the western sky only, all the time. So,
those days,
yeah,
probably the skies would be a little less.
they were not so bad. Yeah.
One cosmic entity which enthralls you the most,
Hmm.
or any event, celestial event that you feel you should have been a part of.
Ah, I missed seeing Halley's. I did watch and extensively for a really long period of time, and that was in '95. There was this comet that happened called Hyakutake, and my hostel room in Nair, I had a window that faced towards the sea, though I could not see the sea for anything. But it was just this little window, in the sense that there was between the buildings this little window which showed me the whole expanse out there. Right? I had a small telescope, so we had some guys like Harsh would come in, and anyway, my room was always a thoroughfare for everybody. So.
Which planet do you think you would want to settle?
Ah, Earth, Earth. I can show you Mars on Earth. When I was in Nair, I had I mean my mentor, my guru, so to say. Though he was not my guide, was Dr. Ravi Shetty, right? And between us, we've had some great conversations. Some of the things that I've learned from him are, I can't even disclose them because there's a lot of things that border on the nefarious. But one of the things that we figured is that if you have a slide and you have a camera, you can do what you want with it. Like I said, if you can't convince them, confuse the hell out of them. So the same goes for this. I can show you pictures from Earth which will look like they've been taken on Mars. So the Earth, that's the planet that I will live on.
Well, so every time you hear about people wanting to volunteering to go to Mars and knowing they would never come back, I wonder what is it that they are so passionate about. I mean, there must be another next level passion to sign up for going to Mars. And when the next
So
time.
they've transcended all this thing. They don't have the need to bitch. That's the reason why they can be on their own somewhere.
Okay, that's the best explanation that has come out about why people want to go to Mars. If somebody was to ask you, what is the connection that you see between the surgical and the celestial worlds? Would you have an answer to that?
So it's very close, okay? All of this, and I think like it's not just surgical. It's I'll say pathology, because I mean for me, from the whole. So I relate pathology to a lot of things that we do surgically as well, and it's all about patterns. There is nothing that does not have a pattern.
I think I'm going to admit our guest, and then we can take it from there. Can you guess who that is?
This might be Harsh. Arya.
Okay, I should have added clairvoyant to the list of things. Okay, this is Harsha.
And thing, hello.
There we are. Hi.
Hi, Narayan. How are you?
Hey,
Hi.
good.
Hi, Harsh.
Hi. How are you?
So nice to have you here. And
Thank you.
Dr.
Harsh?
Narayan guessed it in one
Oh,
go.
already? He guessed that?
No idea how, but he did that.
No. She said that you said that I was interested in quantum physics. There are not too many people who know that.
Golden years in our college in undergrad was the time that we have spent interacting in the hostel. It was simply amazing.
But what are the patterns that fascinate you in the cosmos? Like really, really fascinate you.
Most of all, what fascinates me is how people looked at those patterns at the times that they did. At this point in time, if you have a very clear sky, it's so difficult to orient yourself sometimes, right? So imagining back then when there were no lights, there was no pollution of any sort, and
Yeah.
everything was clear, right? I mean, like those Pangong so kind of skies,
Yeah.
it is impossible
Have that
to
picture.
tell what is what. Yeah. So this is Pangong so, right? That's the lake, the mountains, and
Wow,
so
man.
on. With
This
all
is
that,
simply an amazing picture.
This is
Amazing.
so
So
stunning.
good.
yeah, and you can start to see the Milky Way defining itself,
Oh my.
and you can also see one little comet out there, which
Yes.
a small shooting star back
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you go deep into this, you can turn this into whatever you want. I told you, right? Convince or confuse, it doesn't really matter. But then take a look at this. And uh, okay, I was in one of these tents, right? This is
Wow.
where I was staying. This is the actual center of the Milky Way, you know. And if you are looking at this, Harsh, can you make out anything out here?
This is the Milky Way arm. And Pleiades?
No, you can't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That it's this multitude is so confusing. You can't make out anything, right? So I broke this down. I turned it into a black and white photograph, and
Okay.
removed most of the clutter to show you where we are. This,
Oh.
can you see my cursor there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Wow.
is the
Oh,
the
yes.
the center of the Milky Way.
Center of the Milky Way.
Yeah, this where the cursor lies.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's Scorpio,
There is a Cassiopeia right there.
Oh
In
yeah.
right? Libra. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. So when I think back at those people and what they looked at and how they made out patterns, how they said this is a scorpion in that kind of and how they said these are weighing scales, I have no clue.
Yes.
So that's what really fascinates me most. Yeah, and that to an extent fascinates me about a lot of our pioneers in surgery, pathology, etc. as well, who picked up on things that you know lesser mortals just ignore. This is Scorpio and Sagittarius out here,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you can actually see the arrow of the so another one. So all these are from here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this you've seen a few days ago.
Yes,
Yes.
This
on
is the
Facebook.
Southern
This is
Cross
brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This.
and Alpha and
And
Beta
Proxima
Centauri.
Centauri.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and Proxima Centauri down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's these are a few things that I get to see from here. So the Great Bear.
Yeah.
Uh, okay,
Where?
that's you can call this Mars if you like, right? That's the rover disappearing
Truly.
back there. Huh?
Yeah.
Again, the same thing that I was saying about the problem of plenty, right?
Yes.
And Harsh,
Yeah.
कुछ दिख रहा है?
Orion. Is that the Orion?
There is Orion out here. In fact, you
Yes.
can see the nebula and
Yeah.
its color, right?
Yes.
You can see the
Yes.
redness of the Orion Nebula. You can see Hyades out here. So the open cluster of Hyades, Aldebaran, all of
Never.
Taurus, all of Taurus. So it's like, it's pretty brilliant. The Sahara, okay?
Wow.
I was
Wow.
So much.
driving, I was driving to Hurghada. on the Red Sea, and I made the driver stop so you can see some pylons over here. There's Ursa Minor there. Yeah. This is another one of the nebula. So you get closer, you start to see things, and this is the birthplace of most of the solar system. Yeah. Okay, this is a crazy, celestial dance, if you will. This is Capella. Okay, that's Aldebaran, right?
Yeah.
This is Aldebaran. It's in Taurus. It's an open cluster here called Hyades. Yeah, and you can see it's like the horns of the bull out here, right? The V.
Yeah.
Then this is Rigel, and this is Sirius, and what's not visible up here is Procyon. Okay, and then you have Castor and Pollux in Gemini.
There's Betelgeuse as well, of course.
Pardon me? Yeah, so that is Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
That's Betelgeuse.
Yes.
So this is, it's like all of these things are doing, and I call this the celestial prom, right? Because they're all dancing with the moon chaperoning out here. Yeah. So, I mean, this is what I like to look at. When I look up to the sky, it's not just that I saw this constellation and I saw this. I mean, how they interact with each other at different parts of points in time, in different times of the year. All of that is what is most fascinating about all this. Yeah. And so this is Pleiades. This is another open cluster. And this is a point in time when Venus was heading for Pleiades. So there was going to be a conjunction of Venus. And then when you take it to 13 seconds, you see what happens. Your Venus is now a beautiful object, but everything else is just small trails.
Yeah.
So that's what you do then. After a point, you start playing around to see how you can create patterns out of the patterns that you have around you.
The best part is everything appears in a single plane.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, all of those objects may be thousands of light years away from each other.
Yeah,
but to
absolutely.
the naked eye, they so that's the best part of universe. Yeah.
Like Aldebaran doesn't. I mean, it's nowhere near the rest of those stars in Taurus, right? In that whole open, and it's a big star cluster, that Hyades, and it looks like it's part of it, but it's not. So
it really opens up your perspective, and that is why I was telling Rashmi that he uses his imagination, and in order to like astronomy, to have a very big imagination, and that helps you everywhere else in life. So Narayan utilizes it completely everywhere.
Thank you, Harsh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best part of Narayan is he can look through the lenses and find such interesting things, whether it is under the microscope or whether it's from a telescope. So both extreme.
Something about the black holes from you.
Harsh, you want to start off?
We spent nights discussing about black holes, me and Narayan. And initially there used to be, this was way back in our Naya days. There used to be a collection of 5-6 guys, and one by one everyone would start dropping out because it was kind of getting boring after a while. There's nothing interesting, and these two guys are chatting away to glory. So what really impresses me about black holes is they are such a huge powerhouses, that huge powerhouses of gravity that can suck in everything that you can imagine, including light. And it really mesmerizes one because what is there on the other side. So it's a point of no return. So as Narayan will tell you that there is an event horizon. Once you cross that is a point of no return.
Studied.
And there are a lot of speculations that what is on the other side of the black holes. Maybe it's a wormhole leading to another world, another universe. So now we know that it's not a universe anymore. It is a multiverse. So there may be many universes existing at the same time. And the sheer power of a black hole, it is so powerful that now we are understanding that they are the center of most galaxies. So the reason why everything in a galaxy revolves around something really powerful in the center, which exerts that kind of a gravity. And gravity is so huge that it is called a singularity. So everything gets compressed to a single point. So it is the sheer imagination of such an entity gives us so much to imagine. And I would give anything in my life to be close to a black hole, just like Interstellar.
So, a little philosophical that we're going to get here.
Mm-hmm.
This pandemic has taught us a lot, many things. Do you think we must start learning something from this whole cosmos out there?
I'll tell you what I see around me, right? And largely I see largely our the circles that we move around in is our colleagues, our co-professionals. I see there are a handful of dentists that I can relate to. Most of them are just caught up thinking that what they do is what they are, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Right? In my view, that's completely wrong. And so it's not this pandemic which should have been teaching us. This is just one of those sad reminders that, okay, boss, spell that coffee now, because it's too late otherwise before you think. So
Yes,
yeah.
I think what are we in this largest scheme of things? All we have there to explore yet. We still don't have so many answers, and
So
there's so much more to learn.
exactly. So I was reading this. I mean, it's pretty fascinating. This book called Indica, and there is an analogy for the Earth. Like this guy relates the Earth to a 46-year-old person, right? Where each year is 1 billion years, right?
Wow.
That's how many billion years of evolution that you have. So if you start to do that, then we are on this earth for not more than the last 4 or 5 hours of this lifetime, right? So we are absolutely insignificant in this whole scheme of things, right? So let's not take ourselves so seriously.
Yes.
Get out there and enjoy the little time that you have on this planet. It's the Messier 87 black hole.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was a big deal that they could picture this, that they could shoot it.
It's a massive thing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, I think, 7 billion times the size of the sun.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So this is the first picture of the black hole, the first actual picture of the black hole.
First actual picture, and they still don't have the picture of the black hole in our galaxy. Okay, one small little fun element.
Okay.
10 of your colleagues, friends, acquaintances, names that I'll give you, and you have to name a planet, any celestial body, depending on their characteristics that you kind of relate to the particular celestial body.
Okay.
Celestial body sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't know if you'll have seen this photograph of mine, where I've put this thing out saying heavenly bodies. And then I've written down there that this is not Giselle Bundchen or.
I know that. First one, Dr. Narayan, Udat Kher.
I said, by Jove, like Jupiter.
Jupiter. Ooh, why? Okay.
Absolutely constant, and number of fans increasing, counting satellite.
Like
88
like the number of satellites, right? Around.
Yes.
Every day it goes up.
Yes.
Nice, interesting. Dr. Tunkiwala.
Like a nebula, Orion Nebula, because so many is always dynamic, something happening, something creative happening all the time. So nebulas are where the new stars are born.
Okay.
And he teaches so many people who become stars themselves. So it's perfect.
Perfect.
Dr. Vidya Deshmukh.
Cassiopeia.
Oh, Cassiopeia. Right.
And I don't have a reason why.
Harsh. Dr. Rajiv Chitgupi.
Oh, Rajiv Chitgupi. He's like the Pleiades. It's a collection of stars which keep on twinkling and do all naughty things. So he's full of humor.
Nice.
And every word that he says has some humor in it somehow.
Nice. Dr. Sachin Deep Singh.
Oh.
He seems like the most gentle planet.
Yeah.
Sachin
Yes, I think.
is like Virgo for me.
Oh, Virgo. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like so pure, everything, right? So it's really, really, he's one of the most gentle faces I've seen. And I mean, to interact with, I'm a really harsh critic of people. Okay, Harsh knows.
Yeah, I know.
But
I got into trouble by doing that.
but I'm really, fond of Sachin. He's just very, very,
Very endearing. Harsh, Bhakti Tunkiwala.
Bhakti.
Yes.
Oh, Bhakti is like the.
I want to take that.
Okay, take it.
Take it,
Okay.
take it. Yes.
Bhakti is a black
Okay.
hole. Black hole.
I was about to say the sun.
Why? Okay, I need to know why. Black hole.
Bhakti knows. Bhakti knows.
Okay.
No. Hey, no. She'll get really mad at me, okay?
No, black holes are the most interesting, I think. In
Absolutely. But Bhakti is this powerhouse, man. She's like, there's nothing.
Yes.
She's
I said
completely
sun.
indomitable.
Absolutely.
She can take anything in her stride and, go on, right? So that's why I think everything revolves around her.
Coming back to Harsh. Okay, Bianca.
Huh? Bianca.
How can you ask him about Bianca? That's as much of a spot as you can be put it.
Well,
Chand
already,
mein
He has
Chand pe bhi daag hai.
well, I would say it's the entire universe because I've experienced everything with her.
so sweet.
So, whether it's a nebula, whether it's a shooting star, whether it's everything is
Well
all
played,
around.
well played.
all
Harsh.
encompassing, all
Well played.
encompassing.
Huh?
Okay, coming back to Dr. Narayan. Sarita Narayan.
Ah. So
Let's
he's
see how he plays this time.
I know.
Sarita is a Scorpio, okay, proper
Oh.
Scorpio. She is like to me, the most fascinating constellation is, you'll see by the number of pictures I take of Scorpio. I don't want to ever cross her, so that's, yeah. So yeah, and yeah, everything as far as I'm concerned, she makes my life what it is, and I'm not one for all this, man. Don't expect me to.
Or get all mushy and all.
No chance.
Okay, we want to know what happened at your
Now you have to tell about your reception.
reception. What
Ah,
did you
yeah.
What you did. What you.
Okay, it was a little puerile, whatever thing, but then we had fun, right?
Yeah.
My father-in-law was from Nair. He was from the 1962 batch in Nair. So he had a lot of dentist friends, right? Everybody had been invited to this wedding party and so on. And we entered, reasonably decently attired and all of that. And I think not even 15-20 minutes into the thing, I went in and I changed into a pair of shorts. And I had these very formal shoes and long white socks and short black shorts. The sort like, real hot pants. And then we were out there dancing. It was good fun.
Dr. Vishal Gupta and Dr. Lanka Mahesh, take whoever wants to describe. Go ahead.
Lanka is like the sun, I'll say. He's very radiant, always exuding an energy. He likes to have things revolving around him.
Yeah. So I would say Vishal is like the brilliant planet Saturn, with the beautiful rings, because everything he does is so damn beautiful.
There are few people that that exude that sort of passion, and it takes a different sort of construct to have that passion. And Vishal is just brilliant.
Harsh, what does Dr. T.V. Narayan stand for? Which celestial body is he?
Well, this is a tough one because Narayan is that kind of a person who's good at everything. I mean, he does. So whether it is the oral pathology, whether it is anything in dentistry is just one of his aspects. So would say I would give him the Milky Way galaxy.
Oh, wow.
Because he has so many things. Milky
This
Way
now
for you.
puts me in a serious spot. I wish I had just taken this before. Right? I'll have to make you my universe now. Yeah. Much to the chagrin of my wife, who I just said Scorpio. Harsh is your universe. Now your wife will wonder what the hell is going on between us. Harsh is like Andromeda, right?
Oh, wow.
That galaxy that you always want to get to, but you can't. It's just a little beyond reach.
Wow.
It was great fun talking. Yeah, I mean, and like it was even more fun seeing you, Harsh. I mean, like this is one way to see each other.
Yeah,
right?
Two questions which I had for Narayan related to the universe is when are we going to see the unification of the two theories, theory of relativity and the quantum theory, so that we can have answers to universal questions and powers like gravity. And the second is the most cliched question which most people ask is there life outside our beautiful planet?
I'm sure there is. And the answer to your first question is never. If that happens, then the world will come to an end that day. But it's impossible that you have such a vast universe, and this is the only mass that is that can support life. I am very sure that there is. I don't know whether we are ever going to be able to make contact.
Yes.
Does God exist?
Yeah, I don't. I'm an atheist. Okay.
You're an atheist. Okay.
Yeah, in the sense that I don't believe in this concept of God. But the fact that there is such a massive, universe. I mean, I don't believe in this creator theory, or that there is somebody who put all this together. But there must be some sort of a power that is orchestrating all of this. Right? God, to me, is the universe only.
It's just
That's a brilliant answer.
Yeah. What about you, Harsh? Are you?
Well, I will go in the same lines. I mean, religion is just an interpretation, but what you believe, and if you know universe even a little bit, you know that there is a higher power which is running everything.
And one celestial event that you would have wanted to be a part of.
Always been the black hole.
Black hole.
Yes. So I would like to go to the event horizon and go inside, and even if I never come back, it doesn't matter. I want to see it, even if it is for a fraction of a second. So it's a black hole.
Even Elon Musk has not been that audacious. He's still thinking about Mars here. Great. So thank you so much, Dr. Narayan, Dr. Harshvardhan Arya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi.
Cheers to more explanations, more confusions, and to some more order on this earth in this year, I guess. Hopefully we see
For that, you need more chaos theory.
I knew it was coming.
But there is, I think, the amount of chaos that's happened now in this whole last 3 or 4 months, I think it's enough. We need to get some order now. Hopefully soon.
We do, and we will.
I have no idea what he's spoken now when I sit.
Oh, this is really bizarre. Okay, I have no clue what I've said also. So please.
And that's how it was supposed to be. That's how it was supposed
Good
to be.
fun.
Thank you, Narayan. Thank you, Rashmi.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good weekend. I'm sure all days are a weekend, but have a good weekend. Are we going to end this like other Zoom meetings? Okay, bye.
Okay, say something extremely poetic, and then end it.
Oh, Harsh, you please take the poetry.
Poetic stuff. So I'll just put I'll the theme of Interstellar, that we were born on this planet, but we are not meant to die here or end here. So humanity will move on. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Narayan, from your list of rocks.
Yeah.
So when we are on this theme of astronomy, etc., that is Southern Cross. If any of you have heard it, it's Crosby, Stills and Nash, and brilliant song. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night. Good night.
Bye.
See, I've done my research.
Oh man. Okay. I
was prepared with so many questions and I'm lost.
So I think I managed to confuse a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's what the intention was.
That's the theme of the
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't convince them, confuse them.